Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby and I give unsolicited book opinions on the internet. How you doing? So I finished my first book of 2026 and I'm very excited about it. Another Man in the Street by Carrie Phillips. This book is going to be in another video, so I am not going to tell you too much about it because otherwise I'll just be repeating myself. It was fine. I'm probably not going to remember anything in this book, but it was a book. Not much more to say. I'll have more to say in the video that this appears in. I'm going to be comparing it to Andrew O'Hagan's Caledonian Road. Very similar vibes. You'll see if you watch the video when it's up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna land on like a 3-star. It's not really how I wanted to start my 2026, but that's okay. You know, it was a book. It did what it needed to do. I would say it does what it says on the tin, but it didn't even do what it said on the tin. The synopsis in the jacket of this book did not actually explain what this book was about. Either that or I'm just dumb. So it really is a 50-50. So stay tuned for that. The next book that I am reading currently is so polar opposite what the book I just read is. First of all, look at this. Do you see this? Are you seeing this? This book, 222 pages. This book, over 1,000 pages. Now tell me, and I mean this earnestly, is anything ever this serious? Why? Here's one of my bookish hot takes for you. Unless it is a religious text, no book should be over 1,000 pages. No book. And I might eat my words by the end of reading this book, but I don't think I will ever give a book over 1,000 pages 5 stars. This thing will have to blow me away. It will have to leave me distraught, just staring at a wall, unable to continue. Can't imagine that there is going to be no dead zones in this. You know what I mean? Like, this has to grip me. I'm going to want to have to pick this book up over and over and over again. No dead zones, no lapses, nothing. I don't see that happening. In case you've been living under a rock, this is Alchemised by SenLinYu. Alchemised is the traditionally published version of Manacled by the same author, which was originally a Harry Potter fan fiction. I'm not going to talk much about Manacled because I have never read it. I think I'm one of the few people on the bookish internet that has not read Manacled. Fanfiction was never really my thing. So I'm going into this completely blind. I have no idea what's going to happen, like none whatsoever. And it is my second Hermione book because I read Rose in Chains. Where is Rose in Chains? Do I have Rose in Chains? Is this Rose in Chains? Is this right? I read Rose in Chains last year. I loved it. It was good. It was a great book. I think I gave it a 4-star, but I mean, look at that sprayed edge. Honestly, I'm a sucker for a sprayed edge. This was great. I enjoyed it. It was good. I had a good time. But there is a stark difference between the size of that book and the size of this book. So on top of all of this, I got this from the library. I only have 3 weeks to read it. Nobody called me. Nobody asked me to do anything. This is what I'll be doing. I am going into, like, I read the dust jacket. Like, I read what it's about. Did I read what it's about? Oh, I didn't read what this is about. Classic. As you'll come to learn, anytime someone recommends me a book, I just put it on hold at the library or buy it without knowing what it's about at all. You know what? Let's learn what this is about together. I'm going to read the synopsis for you. In this riveting dark fantasy debut, a woman with missing memories fights to survive a war-torn world of necromancy and alchemy, and the man tasked with unearthing the deepest secrets of her past. Once a promising alchemist, Helena Marino is now a prisoner of war and of her own mind. Her resistance friends and allies have been brutally murdered, her abilities suppressed, and the world she knew destroyed. In the aftermath of a long war, Palladia's new ruling class of corrupt guild families and depraved necromancers, whose vile undead creatures helped bring about their victory, hold Helena captive. According to Resistance records, she was a healer of little importance within their ranks, but Helena has inexplicable memory loss of the months leading up to her capture, making her enemies wonder, is she truly as insignificant as she appears, or are her lost memories hiding some vital piece of the Resistance final gambit? To uncover the memories buried deep within her mind, Helena is sent to the High Reeve, one of the most powerful and ruthless necromancers in this new world. Trapped on his crumbling estate, Helena's fight to protect her lost history and to preserve the last remaining shreds of her former self is just beginning. For her prison and captor have secrets of their own, secrets Helena must unearth, whatever the cost. Okay. Okay. Well, now I know what this book is about. Okay. So here's my problem. My problem is that this book was sold to me as like a dark romantasy. And then I found this woman on the internet and I can't remember her name. If you know who I'm talking about, please like tag her in the comments, let her know. She said that no, this is not a romantasy. This is like a dark gothic horror with a subplot of romantasy. And I was like, oh, horror. There are only two genres that I really can't get behind, and that is self help and horror. Horror? This is okay. As a self-proclaimed, as a proud wimp, I'm not ashamed to call myself a wimp. I know what I like, I know what I don't. I'm scared easily. Okay? My husband scared me the other day by just existing. I didn't know that he was there. And I almost peed my pants. So this is not what I was expecting, and I'm a little concerned. And I'm gonna be so for real with you. I am, how far in am I? I just started this last night. I am 53 pages in. I have said ew 4 times. I don't want 1,000 pages worth of ew. What's the math on that? What's the math? If I have said ew 4 times in 53 pages, and this is over 1,000 pages long. Oh my goodness. So wait. And then 4 times 20. Can you tell that I'm not a math person? 4 times 20. It's 100. Am I going to be saying ew 100 times? Is that math right? I'll get Matthew to do the math and he'll put it somewhere up here. Because I'm not doing it. Here's my other question. Obviously, my line for DNF for a book this size is going to be different than my line for DNF for a book this size. That's only fair. But what is your DNF line? Okay, because anything like 800 pages and longer, I'm willing to give it 200 pages to let me know, you know? Because I get it. I get it. There's a lot of world building, especially in fantasy. You need time, okay? But if I'm not sold by 200 pages, do I keep going? I don't know. And I'm scared. I'm not fine because I've already read things in this book I didn't want to read. It was gross. Okay? Like, I want to sleep. I want to eat. Fine. I'll just make some tea and get on with it, I suppose. Am I going to crash out over this book? I think this vlog might just be a vlog of me crashing out over this book. So I'm going to go sit on my lovely chair with my lovely blanket and my emotional support water bottle. And I'm going to get stuck in to this because I have 0 plans tonight. The hermit in me, overjoyed. So I'm just going to read this book. Your thoughts and prayers are appreciated at this time. Okay, let's do it. Oh, help. It's the next evening. You have caught me at a time where I am at my coziest. I have my blanket. I'm wearing sweatpants and I'm wearing a big fuzzy sweater. No makeup. You're just going to have to deal with me as I come. Now, the last time we chatted, I think I was 55 pages in. I am now 139. So we've made some progress. I have a few thoughts that I would like to share with you, a few questions, queries, if you will, before I continue, because I do think this book is making me crash out just a little bit. Firstly, I don't think 200 pages is a good point to decide whether I continue on with this book. I am just like going through all of the lore, getting the world building, and realizing that a book of this size needs like a little bit more time than 200 pages. So I'm going to like go further than that, see how I feel, and I think like we'll go from there. Now, as we have established, I am not a horror reader. I am sensitive. I am a wimp. So I have now decided to keep track of the ews. I now have an ew tally. I'm going to put this mic down for a second just so you can see this because I need 2 hands to hold up this book. Okay. It's on a lovely Bob Ross sticky note because despite the ews, we still want good vibes. Now, let me quickly explain what my definition of an ew is. So we have like ew. It's like a little disturbing, like a little gross, you know, but nothing crazy, but it's still like ew. And then we have ew, which could either be something that is gross and disturbing, like the context around the gross thing makes it even more disturbing, even more off-putting. But that could also be if a gross guy says something to a girl, to a woman, then that would also be like an ugh. And then we have ew. And that is like nasty. Like in my definition, like nasty. So, but ew can also encompass multiple ews in a row. Like ew, ew, ew. I know that you were all caring about what my definition of ew was, but I just wanted you to know that that's what my definition of ew was. This isn't like author choices, like, oh, I wouldn't have made that creative decision. Like, that's not like that sort of ew. This isn't me ewing like the story plot itself, just like elements within it. Because I'm not trying to be negative, truly, but I also, if I feel disgust, it generally verbalizes. Okay, and the third thing is that I have fully crashed out over the mention of a car. And this has made me go down a rabbit hole to the point where I've eaten an entire pint of ice cream. And like, that's when you know that it's a true crash out, when like the ice cream is gone, like it's been finished. So I'm just going to share some thoughts with you. In this world, we have been told that there is a car. The main character has entered a car. And I think that like part of me is like really struggling with that. I'm crashing out over the existence of a car in this book. But I think like with the lore and with all of the world building, I wasn't expecting there to be a car. Now I understand like in Harry Potter, there are cars. And I also recognize that like I need to separate the fact that this was a fan fiction connected to Harry Potter in the Harry Potter world. But it's hard to make that separation. In the Harry Potter world, magic exists, but it is secret. Right? In this world, from my understanding, this is a completely different, this isn't our world. This isn't England. This is a completely different world. Or it's like a dystopian, like post-apocalyptic. I'm very confused about what the setting of this book is. And it's kind of making me spiral. And there was a mention of a car. And I was just sort of so taken aback by this because I'm just thinking, like, in this world, in Palladia, there are people who are alchemists. There are people who can control elements with their body, with movements, with their being, right? And I'm just sitting here thinking, if we lived in a world where necromancy, alchemy existed, where people could create metals, but also manipulate metals, are we saying that still the best mode of transportation they could come up with is a car? Do you get what I mean? Am I crashing out over nothing? And also, this took me down a rabbit hole of how I just really struggle with having such stark parallels between reality and fantasy books. In the Sarah J. Maas Crescent City world, Fae have cell phones. In Akatar, there's like full-on indoor plumbing. And I'm just sitting here. So are we just accepting the fact that like in every timeline and in every world, the Romans have existed? Like I know. I know. And I'm not sitting here contemplating whether Fae poop, okay? That's not what I'm doing. I'm sitting here questioning the disposal of Fae poop. Fae poop, I get it, okay? I'm like, that I can accept, but what are they doing with the waste? Like, I don't think Fae should be flushing toilets. Is that like an unrealistic expectation? Am I the problem? Am I the drama? This has been me crashing out over this book. I'm going to keep going because I am enjoying it. Like the story's great so far. Like I don't really have much to say about the actual like plot so far because I'm 139 pages in, but like in reality, like percentage wise, I'm really not that far in. So I'll keep you posted. Yikes. First update, I made my first loaf of sourdough. I'm so excited. And it was very tasty. So that was my win for the day. And you know what? I needed a carby win because this book is heavy. Couple quick updates for you. I am now on part 2 of this book. I didn't realize that it was split up into parts, but that's fine. I'm on page 293. And the fact that I'm on essentially page 300 and I'm only this far in is really doing something to my psyche, but that's all right. I feel as if maybe I was too harsh in my earlier update. I am enjoying like the general premise of the book. The general premise of the book is really interesting, like understanding what's going on in the world and the politics behind it. I'm actually quite enjoying it. The thing that is sustaining me the thing that is sustaining me through this is the literal crumbs. Okay, I told you carbs were getting me through this. The literal crumbs that the author is feeding me of romance, okay? And when I say crumbs, I mean crumbs, okay? Like Hansel and Gretel, they couldn't see them if they tried, but they are there. They are sustaining me, and that's why I am still plowing through this. Yeah, I am quite enjoying it so far. We are now in the like previous timeline. I don't love when timelines like jump back and forth, but this one, if it's done by part, I can handle that, and it is providing a lot of context and a lot of insight into what's going on in like the main timeline that we're in. Like, genuine question for people who have read this book: are you okay? Like, are you okay? Because this is heavy stuff. Please check the trigger warnings for this book, okay? And I'm like so serious. This is dealing with some really heavy stuff. So if you are triggered by anything in this book, if you're like, oh, it deals with this topic, but I'm sure it's fine, it's probably not fine. It's intense. And I would say, like, maybe don't, but teach their own. I'm going to keep going because nothing has triggered me so far, but I am a firm believer that if something triggers you in a book, please stop reading it. Books are meant to bring you joy and are meant to make you reflect, but also entertain. If it's not bringing you joy, if you're not learning anything from it, and you're just suffering through, please stop. I probably won't update you again until I'm like halfway or further, because I don't want this video to be like an hour long. Stay tuned. It's cold. Right. I've just finished work. I have to get ready for the gym, but I have a few notes. I am now 515-ish pages in. The EO count is now at 29. Here are my thoughts. Firstly, there is no map. And I feel as if that is a pretty important thing that a fantasy book, especially of this size, should have. And the reason I say that is because in order to remove yourself even more from the Harry Potter world and the start of this story, which was manacled, I think creating a map that showed that the world looked nothing like our world would have been beneficial. And also, like, Palladia or New Palladia, or whatever you want to call it, is not like, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like, there are mentions of neighboring nations and mentions of the sea and why it acts the way it does. And I just think that a visual representation of that would have been really helpful for the reader, whether or not that reader had read Manacled. Like, it's mentioned enough, and the importance of those nations to the story is enough that I think it warranted a map. And maybe this is just my copy and my copy doesn't have a map, but I think that was a missed opportunity. Let me say a positive thing about this book. The writing is really, really good, especially how the author writes alchemy. Like, there are paragraphs about how a certain alchemical property is created, or how alchemy works and how it interacts with physical objects, and that's really, you can tell that I have no idea what alchemy is. I really appreciated that because it does make it more real, and explaining, instead of it just being like, and she waved her hand and something cool happened, it explains like what happens deep in your body when alchemy is used, and also like how it interacts with other things and why that's important. Like, she's created her own version of chemistry for this book and her own version of science for this book, and it's really well done. So if you appreciate stuff like that, this is really good. Next point. I have heard people say that this is their favorite book, and I would like to talk to those people because I want to know why. I'm not going to yuck your yum. It's fine. But what is it about this book that's made it your favorite book. Because right now, I have been sad and depressed for 500 pages. When the person said that this isn't a romantasy, I would agree this is not a romantasy. We're hardly even getting crumbs, minuscule crumbs, and it's always surrounded by something that makes it really difficult to enjoy. That is like the redeeming thing for dark fantasy romances for me, is the romance part. But I have been sad for 500 pages. I want to laugh. I want to laugh. I want to smile. Okay. Is that too much to ask? Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm the problem. POVs. So currently, and I don't know if this is going to change, but currently this book is only following Helena. Helena? You choose. And that is both a good and a bad thing. It's a double-edged sword. It could be good because then not only is this book 1,000 pages, but it would also then be following too many characters. There are a lot of characters in this book. And I feel like it would be a lot for a reader to not only have to read 1,000 pages, but read it from a bunch of different people's point of views. We are only following Helena. That's fine, but I do feel like we're missing some context. And I would like to know what's going on in Farron's head. I would like to know what's going on in Luke's head. Luke is something. I do not like Luke. I think I just don't understand what's going on with him. He's just kind of annoying. And Helena, I'm also finding kind of annoying. Okay, here's what I'll say. She spends a lot of time on the floor. I'm just thinking that this is a lot of time for a person to be spending on the ground. Like, she falls over a lot. And maybe if I was going through what she was going through, I too would be on the ground a lot. I don't know, but that's just like a random thought that I've had, is that in 500 pages, she's been on the ground like between 10 and 20 times. That's a lot of time to be on the ground. Yeah, she falls over a lot. And she just doesn't. I'm hoping that there's more character growth for Helena, because right now she hasn't really changed. And I feel like in 500 pages, if there's been no character growth, I'm just wondering why. Like, is there a reason, or is there actually just no character growth? I don't know. And Farron is a bit annoying as well. Maybe I'm just finding everyone annoying. And maybe this is a me problem. But I don't know. Just, I haven't met a character that I really like yet. And there's no like comedic relief. And that's hard. Oh, hi, baby. Come here. Hi. Mwah. Those are my thoughts so far. I think I'm going to finish it. I have a goal to read 1,000 books. Not 1,000 books. Oh my gosh. I have a goal to read a 1,000-page book, and I kind of just want to get it over with. And I know I'm a hypocrite because I said in my last video that you shouldn't read books you do not enjoy, and yet here I am. At least I'm self-aware. So yeah, I'm probably going to finish it. But at this point, I don't know if the romance is even going to redeem this for me. I feel like I'm being such a hater. I'm sorry. Usually I am like the biggest fan of most books that I read. This is just like not it for me. This is not hitting, but maybe it will. We still have 500 pages. Okay? We still have 500 pages. And I'm going to try and keep optimistic. Right. I have done a full 180. Maybe not quite 180, like a 120. Because the last time that I spoke to you, I was like, should I DNF this book? This book is making me depressed. Why am I still reading this book? Why is it so long? Everyone is annoying me. What has happened? What has happened? I don't even know what happened, but like 20 pages after I spoke to you, so much changed. So much changed. I'm on chapter 58, which is page 728. So we're getting there. We're about 3/4 of the way through. And when I tell you, so much happened that I was not expecting. It wasn't even like plot points that I wasn't expecting. I just wasn't expecting for such a significant shift in my feelings towards this book. I don't know what's been wrong with me, but I just am suddenly like so invested, and all I want to do is read this book and find out what happens. Like, I'm fine, but I'm not fine, you know? Like, I'm not fine. Okay, where was I when I was talking to you last? I was like around halfway through, and I stick by all of the things that I said previously. Like, up until that point, that is exactly how I was feeling. Do I think that 500 pages is a long lead up for things to start happening? Yes, I do. But now that things have happened, I am invested in this story. Because up until that point, I was so not invested. I was like, my gosh, when is this ever going to end? But now, like, I am seeing things come together. All of the strings are making sense. The characters are not annoying me anymore. I'm finally seeing some character growth. Some of it is great, some of it is annoying to me. I won't tell you which is which because I'll let you figure that out for yourself. But things are happening, things have increased, and I am excited about it. What has happened to me? What has happened to me? I feel as if I was this book's biggest critic for the last 500 pages, and now I'm on like 750 almost. And now I'm suddenly like, what a book. What a book. When things started happening, when I tell you my jaw on the floor, squealing, kicking my feet, I was like, and it was just so good. So good. And you know what? The delayed gratification of it all, having to work that hard to get there, was it worth it? Maybe. But it was, it's been so good now. And I don't know what's going to happen. Here's what I'll say though. Is this going to be a series? Did I just miss that memo? Because I only have 250 pages left. I love how I'm saying I only have 250 pages left when there are books that are literally only 250 pages. But like, how are they going to finish this off? I don't know. And I'm going to be so real with you. I don't think I could do this again. I don't think I can do this again. I don't think I can do another 1,000 pages. Truly, I don't think my psyche could take it. I am loving the writing more and more. Really, really well written. I am not a big fan of spice that has no point. I will say there's been a tiny bit of that, but some of it has actually continued the story. It's been important to the story. It's been integral to the story. And that I'm all right with. It was almost like beautiful, like the way that it was described. It really did like tug on the heartstrings, the importance of that moment. And I really appreciated that because it didn't cheapen it, which I liked. So so I'll probably update you when I'm done. And that's only like 250-ish pages from now. Wow. What a 180. SenLinYu, you have currently won me over. I didn't think it would happen, but here we are. I didn't think this day would come, and probably neither did you from the previous clips of this video. I officially finished Alchemised by SenLinYu. Where to begin? First of all, I think I deserve a medal of some sort because this was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It truly did feel as if it would never end. But here's what happened, okay? It's like I had like a brain transplant halfway through this book. I truly think I've gained some muscle definition in my arms from holding this book up. I managed to finish this book in 8 days, but I did pretty much nothing else but read this book for 8 days. So it felt like a bit of a slog. But I don't know what happened after my like halfway through check-in where I had like that weird hair, but like suddenly everything picked up. Everything picked up. The first half of the book and the second half of the book were two completely different books. Just so much more happened. Everything finally made sense. And I'm really conflicted about it because it didn't need to be 1,024 pages long. But can I tell you what should be cut? No. No, I can't. And that infuriates me just a little bit because like, did it need to be 1,000 pages long? Am I wrong? I'm not usually wrong. My husband can attest. So what? What do I do? What do I do with this information? Also, not a series. Thank goodness for that. Because I was like 250 pages away from the end. I was like, I don't know how they're going to tie all this up. But they did. And I'm going to be so honest with you. The ending was so well done. Tears in my eyes. And I wasn't expecting to have tears in my eyes. So that was brutal, but like so good. And everything made sense. Every loose end made sense. I remember earlier when I said, I think I found a plot hole. No, I just can't do math. Classic. And I did really enjoy it. By the end, I was really into it and I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. And I was surprised because I had a feeling that I thought that I was going to be slogging my way through this book the entire time. I've eaten my words because by the end, I was like, oh, no, what? Aw. Every emotion that you could feel in a book, I felt in this book. Other than joy. I don't think I smiled or laughed one time in this whole book. And that's a long time to not feel joy. Let me tell you why I'm struggling to rate this book. Because I don't think I would recommend this to anyone in my life. I don't think I would, because I would not, because it's a bad book. It's not a bad book. I would feel bad recommending this book to anyone in my life because it is so dark. It is so sad. So much happens. If anyone has a trigger warning, I'd be like, just don't read it, because it's so heavy and so disturbing that I truly would not recommend it to anyone. And would I reread it? No, I don't think I would. So where does that leave me? I don't know. I'm still crashing out over this book, and it's done. I finished it, and yet I'm still here. Oh, and the final EO tally. 45 eels. 45 is a lot of eels. If you have no triggers, if you love a dark, and when I say dark, I mean pitch black fantasy, then I would say try this book. Try it. You can always DNF it. My final star rating for this book is 3.5. 3.5 because I can't recommend it to anyone. Can I say I had a good time? No, you know what? I'm going to change it. 3.75. It's not 4 stars. It's not like incredible book, but I have some notes. It's like, it's more than fine, but it's not incredible. And if you have to read 500 pages to get into a book, 500 pages, if you have to read a book in order to get into the book, you're asking too much of me. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl who wants to read her silly little fantasies and live my life. Will I read something else by this author? I lean towards yes, because the writing was so well done. I'm hoping that I won't crash out anymore this year over any books, but knowing me, that's probably not going to be possible because of who I am as an individual. So I hope you enjoyed watching me crash out over this book, and I will see you next week. I'm going to go take a nap. What am I saying? I don't know what I was saying. We're not debating what Spice Girl I am right now. Cannot. My dog just fell down the stairs. Luna, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, shake it off. You're good. You're good.